To you too, Brigitte. How's everything?
Everything is wonderful, and it's delicious.
Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. I'm actually looking forward to your tips for the holidays.
Oh, yes, I've got all kinds of good stuff for you, Rosanna.
Oh, that's wonderful. I actually wanted to ask you something because,
Yes.
we live in America and people here from everywhere. I'm from South America. You're from Asia.
Yep.
We all come here and we all unite ourselves with each other, with our families and friends. And then we go to the holidays. But, can you tell me how to make, American traditions exciting and how to bring our own flavors to the table?
Oh, this is something my mom did so beautifully growing up. So we would have traditional American holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but she would always find ways to interject a little bit of flavor into it, whether it was through a marinade or a sauce. And so I think that's just a really nice way to personalize any sort of holiday. So if you don't get excited about the traditional American recipes, it's nice just to be able to put a little bit of a different twist on it, whether it's the addition of one ingredient or just how you present it.
And how do you like to do that? Like, do you like to, let's say, center your table, let's say, around the typical turkey, and then just add the sides, maybe from other places?
Exactly.
Or how do you do it?
That's exactly what I like to do, Rosanna. So turkey, I think, is one of those non-negotiables. You just have to have the turkey the way it is, but you can spice it up with some different sauces. We actually have a beautiful recipe on Aldi's website for this glazed turkey that is a little bit spicy, so my Asian family loves it. It has jalapenos, dried fruit, so it's cherries and apricots, which my mom loves, and so it's just a little bit different, but not so out of the box that people will be disappointed they didn't get their holiday turkey. And then we have a couple side dishes that I think are really special. We have a butternut squash bake that I love and I know my family would love because it's not as sweet as those American sweet potatoes that are covered in marshmallow or brown sugar. This is just really lightly sweetened with a tiny bit of honey. And then there's a cranberry oat crumble on top, which I think is really nice and fresh. So it's really fruity and it's really light in texture. So I love that.
Oh, wonderful. What about your vegetables? Like, what kind of greens do you do, and how do you spice them up?
Oh, one of my favorite things is Brussels sprouts, and I've been lucky that Aldi has a lot of produce, so I'm able to find them there. And I just like to cook them in a cast iron skillet with some nuts, maybe a little bit of bacon. A great thing to add in there is some cheese, and that's another thing that I always love to have out at parties is a big, beautiful cheese platter. So you can use it for entertaining, but then I also like to integrate it in a lot of my recipes.
That's wonderful. That's actually a really good idea. Now that you mentioned the cheese, I was going to ask you about the appetizers.
Yes.
Just because, that's, something that you put on the table, or, you want the meal to be the main focus, but while people get there and they get a glass of wine or whatever, what do you serve?
You know what? That is always my challenge, Rosanna, is I can figure out the entree and the side dishes, no problem, but it's always the appetizers, because you're right. As soon as people walk in the door, they're in the kitchen and then they want something to eat right away. So I think a cheese platter is a really smart solution because you can save a lot of money by doing this yourself. You can go to a deli and pay so much money for one that's pre-made, but really you can pick up some really nice cheeses. I have some specially selected cheeses here that have cranberries in them, so they're perfect for the holidays. And then I like a little bit of meat on a tray like that as well. We have a Chianti salami. So all you have to do is slice and serve. And then if you want something a little bit more involved, I have these adorable little goat cheese Santa Clauses made from cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes, and some goat cheese. And they're just presented in a way that's so cute. They're like this little jaunty, fat Santa Claus. But what I like about it is it's a fresh appetizer. It's not really heavy. And then if you want something else light, this is really fun for me. I have these shrimp Dijon bites, and it's shrimp that's been poached in butter and wine. It has a buttery cracker topping on it, and then you serve it on top of a cracker on top of a glass of champagne. So it's perfect because your guests get something to drink and something to nibble on at the same time. It actually feels very Miami. It's a very glamorous appetizer.
Sounds delicious. Oh my God, I cannot wait to try that. I've actually, you got me with that one. I really, really like it.
You will have to try the recipe. Yep, it's on aldi.us and it's super easy. And then also you're going to save a lot of money buying things that are typically traditionally expensive, like that champagne or wines. I love to get wines at Aldi because most of them are $7.99 or less. So where you would normally spend a lot of money, you can really save a lot and still get a really high quality product. The wines win awards all the time. And I like to have a lot of variety, you know, reds, whites, sparkling, even a rosé is really nice.
Delicious. Now, let's talk about dessert.
Oh, yes, my ears have peaked with desserts.
What do you do? Because, you know, I get very excited and I start making a bunch of stuff, and then I buy the panettone because my dad is from Italy, and then we end up with a dessert that we actually don't need.
I love panettone. Well, the nice thing is if you buy a panettone and you have leftovers, you can turn it into bread pudding or French toast. But I like to combine making something homemade with something store-bought. So I buy a ton of different cookies, holiday cookies, these German-inspired treats that Aldi has right now, and I just put a big platter out of those. And in fact, I like to gift those up. I put them in little tins or bags, and then I give them away as presents. And then when I make something homemade, I really like to cater to everybody. And I feel like we all know somebody who's going gluten-free. And I have this chocolate hazelnut flourless cake that has no flour in it. So it's really rich and very decadent. But then that way your gluten-free guests won't be left out, which is really nice.
Oh my God, that sounds absolutely decadent. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to that recipe too.
It is a good one. If you still have a sweet tooth after that, then you can try our red velvet hot chocolate. So then you have a dessert that's drinkable as well.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And I'm sure you can just, keep the leftovers and maybe redo them the next day differently or something like that.
Exactly. Yep. The holidays is all about repurposing, reinventing your leftovers, and really just saving money. So if you can save money by saving everything, reusing it, and just being a smart shopper. So when I started buying a lot of my holiday items for parties at Aldi, my grocery bill was half of what it normally was. So that's really comforting during this time of year to be able to put a little bit of extra money in your pocket to save it for shopping.
That is absolutely true. Now, give me the website one more time so I can look at all these recipes.
Oh, yes, please do. It's aldi.us, or you can like Aldi on Facebook, and then that way you can see so many different holiday giveaways. There's a lot of special buys that are posted, and then, of course, all these awesome recipes that come from our test kitchen.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time and all your tips, and I'm looking forward to put them all to use. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rosanna. Happy holidays.
Thanks to you. Thank you.